Hello everybody, I hope you are doing well. Welcome back to a new video and a new case. Today's case takes us to France, a case that happened in 2022 and caused a huge media uproar, especially in France. Of course, I was one of the people who heard about it back then, but since there weren't many details at that time, I decided to wait before talking about it. Just yesterday, October 24, 2025, the final verdict was issued, a shocking one that surprised many people, though others found it fair and just. So this case came back to the light, and I thought this is the right time to talk about it in my channel. Honestly, this is the heartbreaking case. I watched interviews with the victims, mothers, and father, and I couldn't hold back my tears. The mother's pain really reached me. The way that she speaks and the emotion that she carried, it all hurts deeply. But in my video today, I have to tell you all the details so you can really live the situation and understand exactly what happens. So without fear or without further delay, if you are ready, let's start. The case of Lola, Paris 19 arrondissement, happened 2022. Our story takes us back to Paris, to the 19 arrondissement in 2022. We'll meet Lola, born in 2010, was 12 years old. At that time, she lived with her parents and her only brother, 6 years older than her. They were a simple living family. Everyone respected each other and lived happily. They owned a small mobile home by the sea where they would go on the weekends to relax and spend time. Lula's parents both worked in the same building. They lived in a large apartment complex in a middle class neighborhood. The father was the caretaker and the mother helped him with the work. The father had stopped drinking for about 3 years. Thanks to his wife's support and the happiness of the found and the family surrounding Lola was full of energy and cheerful and totally friendly and loved by everyone. She practices by and dreamed to become a world champion one day in that field. She was the spirit of the house, full of life and joy. She and her brother used to share a room, later separated by a wooden partition. As they grow older, given each one some privacy. Friday, October 14, 2022. That morning was like any other. Lola wake up, had breakfast with her mother. She said goodbye and went to the school. She returned around noon. The same time her brother wake up, and he wasn't working at that time and had a haircut appointment at 3 p.m. They had lunch together. Everything was normal. Lola had an afternoon class from 2 to 3 p.m. So she left around 2 and she kissed her mother and went out. Her mother, who wasn't used to nap, felt an unusual urge that day to take a short rest. She felt something inside her told her to lie down for a bit. She napped about 30 minutes. Her brother stayed home for a while, then left around 3:15 p.m. to go to his haircut. Though he normally used a different building exists than the one he took that day. The building had two entrances, right and left. He left from one, and Lola came back through another. Security cameras showed Lola entering the building at 3:17 p.m. Just 2 minutes after her brother left, though the opposite side, they missed each other by a second. Lola wasn't alone. She was seen with a young woman when police showed the footage to the parents. The father didn't recognize the woman, but the mother did. She realized it was a girl who had come the day before asking for a duplicate key for her sister boyfriend apartment. Lola's mother had refused because the apartment wasn't legally the sister's, it was her boyfriend's place. The disappearance when Lola didn't come home by her usual time, her mother grew worried. Lola was very punctual and always called if she was running late by 4 p.m. The mother had gone to the school. The principal said Lola had attended class and left on time. She called the father, who rushed home. Knowing their daughter's nature, they immediately realized something was terribly wrong. They went to the police station and reported her missing. The police took it seriously right away. Probably because she was a child, they checked the building's CCTV cameras and saw Laura entering at 3:17 p.m. but never leaving. The discovery, the night around 10 p.m., a homeless man walked near the building, found a large plastic suitcase, and though he might have found something valuable, but when he opened it, he saw the naked body of a little girl curled up in a fire position. He screamed and called the police. It was Lola. Her body was severely injured, covered in wounds and bruises. Her neck and face were wrapped tightly with a duct tape, and she had been strangled. The autopsy later confirmed she had died from suffocation, likely after a brutal assault that included sexual violence using objects. The mother's only question to the police was, did my daughter suffer before she died? The police told her no, she passed away from fear and suffocation, trying to ease her pain. The killer, the suspect, was identified as Tabia, a 24 years old Algerian woman who had come to France in 2016 on a student visa. After her parents died, her mother from the cancer, and then her father soon after. She fell into deep mental instability and failed her studies, losing her legal residency in 2020. In 2019. Since then, she had been living illegally in France with no stable home, sometimes staying with her sister, who lived with her French boyfriend on the sixth floor of the same building where Lola lived. The day after the crime, police arrested Hibia at a friend's house after the friend saw her face on the news and called the authorities. The confession at the station, Davy first denied everything, then, after hours of question, confessed. She said that at around 3:15 p.m. she was waiting outside the building for someone to open the door. When she saw Lola, she asked her to help her get in. Once inside and lured the girl upstairs, saying that she wanted to show her something. When Lola hesitated, Dabia forced her inside her sister's apartment, covered her mouth, and threatened her. Then she forced Lola to shower, assaulted her, tied her with the tape, and strangled her. She later claimed she didn't mean to kill her, only to silence her. She said all that calmly, as if describing something ordinary. She also claimed to drink some of the girl's blood, though later denied it. When her sister arrived home at 5 p.m., Tabia was already preparing the suitcase. Her sister refused to help her carry it, suspecting that something is strange. Afterwards, Tabia called a friend with a car who gave her a short ride, but grew suspicious and dropped her off back near the building, where she later abandoned the suite. That's where the homeless man found her. The next day, this case was everywhere in the media. Lola's parents were devastated. They couldn't stay in their home anymore. The father, who had been sober for 3 years, relapsed into drinking. He couldn't bear the pain. About a year and a half later, he passed away heartbroken. The mother still struggling deeply. She avoids interviews and can barely talk about what happens. The brother lives with guilt, believing that if he had taken his usual route that day, he might have saved his sister. The trial over these years, Debbie underwent any psychiatric evaluation. Doctor confirms that she had a mental health issue, but was fully aware of her actions, what she did. Because of the brevity of the crime, murder, sexual assault, and the discretion of a minor body, the prosecution saw the maximum penalty. And on October 24, 2025, the court sentences Dabia to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole, a historic verdict in France, as it was the first time such a sentence was given to a woman there. And that's the end of the today heartbreaking case. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. We'll meet again soon in another video and another case. Take care and see you next time.